Welcome to Keep It Humane, the podcast,
where we talk about animal control, shelters, and animal welfare, and the people doing the work.
with your hosts,
Ashley Bishop.
And sometimes Ashley Bishop.
and Daniel Ettinger, helping people help animals. I wish I had like the opening music that's like dun da 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 da. Welcome to episode 300. That's right, 300 of, we're calling this episode the Humane Roundup in this MFer. The original, for those that have been listening for the past 300 episodes, you absolutely know what we're talking about. For those that are maybe joining in and are new, you're going to find out. Joining us today, we have always Ashley, Wisconsin Bishop. She's here in full duty, not driving a snowplow or mixing wine or whatever she does on her days off. And then we have the Bishop Kiss, which is adorable. If you didn't see that on YouTube, better go check it out. That is Ashley Texas Bishop joining us.
Howdy.
And then this is crazy. So we have two of the founding fathers, the original members, the OGs, even before me. We have Hildy and Ocho. Guys, welcome back to your program, the Humane Roundup. How the
What's
heck
going on?
I don't even know where to
What's going
start.
on?
I don't even know where to start. Just welcome to the show. This is crazy to think about it. Episode 300. You two guys were the founding fathers, and I would love to let's just check in real quick, see how y'all are doing, and then maybe you can share how the podcast even started. So, Hildy, but with the crazy thing before we even jump in, both you guys aren't in animal control anymore, which is just amazing to think about. So, Hildy, what's good, man? How's it going?
It's gonna blow your mind what I'm doing now.
And he
Now
means
a-
that pun intended, I think.
I'm literally now a outside sales guy for an HVAC distributor.
See? Blow your
Yeah.
mind.
After I left the animal industry, or I guess animal control, I went and worked for a corporate veterinary company, kind of doing pop-up, vaccine clinics and those sort of things. I was managing a team of at one point 50, and at some point, a buddy of mine who I served in the military with called me up and was like, "Hey, do you want to come work for me?" And the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a 3 and a 5-year-old now, which is insane.
hmm So
And go ahead.
do you miss it? Do you miss the animal control?
That's what I was going
I
to ask.
do. I do sometimes. I miss jumping on emus' backs and chasing cows, being brave, chasing cows, even though I know they could turn around and kick me at any moment. But yeah, no, I do definitely don't miss being on call, but I do miss rescuing things and being out there in the community for sure.
Yeah, but you look so like fine and healthy and good. Like you don't look stressed. You look like
Yeah.
you look like a normal human. And I'm looking at Ocho down there too on the screen, and he looks normal and like good. And the three of us, man, we look like we're dying over here. I look like I'm 70. Both bishops, y'all look great. What am I? It's just me that looks like I'm dying. Y'all look
Oh,
wonderful.
shit, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm actually wearing a heart monitor right now, believe it or not. I ended up in the ER a couple of weeks ago. Doctors don't know what's going on, but my doctor is confident it's not going to happen again. So we're rolling with his confidence, and hopefully I'm fine.
So, the interesting fact about that is that they find that people who have like really high stress jobs, when they leave those high stress jobs, they end up with heart issues because your heart has been so used to running on adrenaline and stuff.
So you're saying the moment I step out the door of animal welfare, I'm dying.
You're gonna croak.
I'm just gonna die.
I mean, there
You gotta
is
keep
the
going.
chance.
I'm gonna
You gotta
There
keep
is that
going.
chance.
just the rest of my career.
Yeah, you gotta retire inside of a hospital or something.
Yeah.
You ain't lying, man. Ocho, what man? So I'd say the pleasure of seeing you just a couple months ago. We all try to stay in touch to the best that we can, but our listeners want to know, man, what have you been up to?
Well, I retired from animal service after 18 years, mostly due to an injury. I had left elbow surgery, had torn ligaments, torn tendons, muscle tissue, and I'm still dealing with workers' comp. So I just got tired of it, and I went on to become a code inspector, dealing with residential, uh, manufacturing, civil codes, building codes. And that's what I've been up to so far.
Is
Of
it
course,
as similar as people think it is when they look at it from the outside as far as the job? Like maybe not the, I don't know how to say similar, but like the processes, I guess, or the policies and such.
it's sort of, but it's a lot more. There's a way more laws that we got to know. Just like
Uh,
you got to know civil code, building code, vehicle code, residential, industrial. It's a lot more entailed. The book is way bigger,
that makes sense.
rather than just dealing with. I rather just, as far as laws, it's a lot easier dealing with animal stuff because it's
Yeah,
just clear cut, and there's so much gray area in building and residential stuff.
I
totally.
feel like there's more politics in that too. I had an ACO that transitioned over to code as well, and he says it's just a whole lot more politics.
It sounds like it would be.
That's definitely I had to deal with. We got to deal with a bunch of like politicians that own homes, and we have to go after them, and it's pretty crazy sometimes. Like I had almost had to cite our mayor just before he became a mayor because he wasn't doing what he was
Jeez.
following the building code. So yeah, it's a lot more entailed as far as code wise and
And
violations.
I would imagine too in that world, there's a lot more influence in politics and such because buildings generate money. Not saying animals don't, but buildings, if you're bringing in a business to a community and it could generate X amount of dollars, that political piece is going to be a lot bigger than just, going to someone's house for a welfare check.
Yeah, it does definitely, especially in the zone I handle is a lot of industrial area.
Yeah.
The reason I got it is just because nobody else wanted it, and I didn't know anything about it. So of course, if I don't know about it, I got to figure out what it is. So that's the reason I took it. But I enjoy it just because sometimes you have to shut down whole power plants or whole up 1,000 unit apartments because they don't have their permits. I'm like, well, sorry, we're
Hmm.
shutting down to get this permits.
Dang.
Wild.
Do people fight you back as hard as they did with your animals?
Well, no, because not really. It's easier. It's easier to scare the property owners because you can just citation, 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 and that's money for them. Rather than dealing with the animals, that's their family.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
So less stress.
but his
Ocho's
heart
gonna have.
his heart looks good. I seen him not too long ago. He was good. What about, all right, I want to do this real quick just because I think it would be good for our listeners to know, like, Hildy, how did this start? And then, like, how did you recruit the original members who we wish they all could be here today, and we know they all have busy schedules. So, but how did it start? Like, what gave you the inspiration to make this podcast?
I think for me, at the time, it was there wasn't a whole lot of anything out there for us, right?
Mm,
I think the landscape is a lot different today, and maybe that's because of us. I don't know, but there's a lot more out there today as far as training goes, as far as organizations go, for the officers specifically. So I think that was really my motivation, right? There wasn't a whole lot of anything out there specific to animal welfare officers or organizations, if you will. And I was actually doing some research last night before coming on the show today, and I found that our very, very, very first episode was in August of 2019. I found
wow.
a post on X that I did August of 2019 was our first episode. So it's been running now for 6 years, which is crazy.
Good
One
grief.
one of my biggest regrets ever with this podcast was getting rid of all the old episodes, man. I should have kept them on the platform. And I think when we rebranded and everybody went their own way, I just I wanted it to look different. And I think about it a lot. Like, though this is our 300th episode, we're missing several because I took them down. So if you still have them in the vault, send them over and we'll post them, man. I don't know if you have a hard drive with them on there, but um, it kind of sucks that those went away.
Yeah, I'm sure I probably have something, and I know that there's websites out there that have been logging those episodes since the beginning. So I think I can find at least back to episode 39 or something like that.
That'd be cool. I think we should get
Yeah.
those up for our listeners just so they could hear the change too, the dynamics. Because we had a lot of fun, and you were real creative with some of the segments that we would do. And then everybody had their own little niche, which was really cool. There's a lot of voices and a lot of different opinions, and I thought that like it was a like I don't know if we can even compare because they were just two different things, but it was exactly what this industry needed at the time for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think Ocho and Joe the ACO were the first two that I found being here in California and just going to some of the trainings and things like that. I had run into those guys, and I knew that they were good humans, and I knew that they cared. So I reached out to them. I saw Joe's face over there. And then at some point we had Joe, we had Dan, we had Officer Paw Patrol. So we had a lot of names in here, and like you said, we had some fun. We got a little wild at times, but we were having fun and
It was
having
a
the
lot of fun.
conversations nobody else was having at the time.
We were essentially the Beatles of the podcast industry for animal welfare at the time. It was wild because you think about it, we had a bunch of different personalities and egos, and I think it's safe to say that like everybody like that we all kind of had our own kind of rock star image in a way. Like if you look at Paw Patrol and ACO, Jody ACO, like they had their brands on social media, and so did I. I think that's how you came across me was like the
Yeah,
the humane. I don't even know what I was calling myself back then, but
keep it humane, man.
Humane, man.
but we had those brands, and then yeah, it kind of just took off from there. Ocho, what do you remember about like you getting contacted by Hildy? Like, how did that all come about?
I think we met at I think it was wasn't that at a fire up north, Hilly?
Probably,
Yeah, I think it
probably.
was at a fire up north when we got sent up to work a fire up in Oroville.
Oh wow,
One of the huge fires. I think that's where we met, and I think that's how it all started.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
one
I
thing I
went up
miss
to
about my job is working the fires,
And you
doing
were
all the
always you
evacs.
were always
I
doing this,
loved it.
man. You'd post photos of you
Mm.
sleeping in these little tinfoil houses and stuff. I'm like, what is he doing?
That's the best part of my most exciting part of my job was working during the fire evacs. Just because the previous job was I was working 911 in the ambulance, right? So I miss the adrenaline. That's the only adrenaline I got, either working with rattlesnakes or
Oh,
fires.
man.
Rattlesnakes would do it.
Fires
Yeah.
is wild, y'all. Like, I'm in
Yeah.
Texas, so we deal with all the hurricanes and stuff. Y'all deal with hurricanes and fires. Like, shoo, kudos to all the Cali ACOs who are out there, dispatching for all that stuff because it's wild. A lot of us don't get to experience a lot of that.
Yeah, and thankfully we haven't. I don't think we've had anything, huge for a while. I think we got some rain and got some moisture into the state, so things are not burning as much.
What a
Not yet.
Find some wood.
Not
I
yet.
know the wood.
What do you both remember of like just like anything from recording, or is there a specific episode or interview that we did back with the Humane Roundup that like stuck with you?
Trying to think.
Let's just
Um,
just I think we just talk a bunch of nonsense and throw a couple of animal stuff here and there.
We one of my favorite things we did that, but whatever it is, it sticks out to me was when Paw Patrol would do his little news segments, and he would, I don't know
Oh yeah,
that
that's right.
those were fun, man. He would jump in with those news segments and really, I don't know, he took it home with those, man. It just he would cover some stuff, and that was fun. And then do you remember we did that role playing thing? That one episode where we like all faked characters.
Hmm.
That, that was
Insane.
that was
Insane.
yeah, that one was hilarious. That was a good
Yeah.
time.
I think the two that stick out for me, one is when we had Phil on from the Link, right?
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that's always been kind of near and dear to my heart, right? And I
sure.
think that there's proven science there, right? That
Oh
the
yeah,
people who do bad things to animals end up doing bad things to humans. So I think that conversation always stuck out to me and stays with me to today. And then I think additionally, the second thing that I remember us getting to be a part of, I guess two things really, is when the fires happened in Australia and
mm,
all kinds of things were burning. We were selling T-shirts and
Yeah,
raising
that was
money and
cool.
stuff. I thought that was really cool. And then when we had our first ACO line of death, uh,
mm,
we got to participate in that as well, which was really I don't know, cool. I think to get to participate in that as well.
yeah. It it was I think like as we reflect on that, there was a lot of good that we did, and it felt like a lot of people were, because podcasts at that point weren't as, I mean, it's only 6 years ago, but they weren't as popular as they are today at all. Like you were ahead of the curve, getting it out there and starting the show. And even to this day, I feel like we're still the only podcast that is like authentic to all pieces of animal welfare, where we cover field stuff, we cover shelter stuff, we go even beyond that. Um, we get a lot of people reaching out, which is, I was just having this conversation with someone. They were asking how we get our guests, and there's a lot of people that just sent. They must have like publishing companies or something. I don't know how it works, but they'll just these random people just send emails like, "Would you be interested?" Like we just got a pitch from a guest that has some rat deterrent, like it's a humane rat deterrent. You saw that? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm like, it actually might be an interesting guest because we could talk about how that could apply to like storage places at animal shelters. Like, could they put this around their shed where all the food is? And it's just like, I would never think to have a guest like that on the show, but that shows you how much it's grown from where you guys started. Is like, I don't know. It's just it blows me away that we get these random requests. And we've gotten a lot of good guests that way as well.
Yeah.
I
Well, that's
remember our
awesome
first
too.
sponsor, Coranda. I
Yeah.
don't know. That was,
Molly.
yeah, that's right,
Molly.
Molly.
Shout out Molly.
Molly, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, Molly. No, I was gonna say those are good conversations too, right? Because we're always even rats matter. Sometimes people don't think that they matter, but like
They
they're
matter.
humans. They're animals too.
For humans.
Uh, they're not humans. They're not humans.
Well, wait,
They're
wait, wait,
animals.
wait, wait, wait. Now, in some in some cultures, rats are not the greatest humans. We'll just put it that way. Okay.
That's
Back
true. That's true.
back in.
But yeah, no, good conversations nonetheless to have, right? And it may not resonate with everybody, but even if it resonates with one person, like you guys have done your job.
Absolutely.
What
And
brought you
it
guys into the industry in the first place? Like, was it a passion of yours, or did you just so happen to step on it? Or
I think for me, I've always been an animal person, right? Like I had many, many animals growing up. Family members had many animals growing up. I think at one point on the show, I told the story about growing up in Kansas and I freaking had a baby alligator that I took to my high school. I think for my junior, senior year, one of those, I don't know. So I've always been, kind of an animal guy, but I think what really gave me my start is having to do community service hours for high school. I think I needed like 90 hours or something like that to graduate. And I, of course, did mine at the local Humane Society and then kind of ran for 17 years after that, doing animal stuff at various animal shelters. The largest one being the Animal Foundation in Las Vegas. At the time I worked there, we had 50,000 animals a year going through that shelter. And that was like only my second shelter after working at the tiny humane society that I started with, that had 22 kennels for dogs, and open, like, we had a room where just cats ran around together, in an open room together. And then my next job was at the Animal Foundation in Vegas, where we had 22 buildings to house dogs, and we had multiple rooms to house cats, and it was insane. So it's just, I don't know. I've always been a helper, and I feel like animals are the things. Animals and children, right? Need our help, and so I don't know. I gravitated towards the animals.
What about you, Ocho?
I by accident, actually. I was working in an ambulance back then, and I totally forgot I applied for this position. I think because I was just working. It was stressful, but it was fun, and I just wanted another part-time job. I was working full-time ambulance, but you work 10 days a month, 24-hour shifts. So I go, let me pick something up and the pay was a lot better because I wasn't making much back then. Was it 2000? Yeah, the year 2000, I was making like 10.50 an hour. Imagine 10.50 an hour for saving someone's life. I was like, wow.
Damn, as an ambulance driver? Fuck.
Yeah.
Insane.
So, yeah, that wasn't just, it was an EMTDI, which I was able to, I took so much classes as far as be able to read heart rhythmias. I was able to inject medication for phlebotomy and all that stuff.
Wow.
And the county was hiring, like, they pay better and better benefits. So I applied. I forgot. They called me 6 months later. I'm like, oh, that's right. I applied. And they hired me on the spot because I did have a history of I had rodeo experience, bovine and equine. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll stay here.
That's pretty cool, man. And it just shows like this industry, we all started kind of in different ways, but the passion that it brings out of people, even with, like, both of you have talked about that, even though you're not in it anymore, you're still passionate about it, or you still miss certain things. I think about that a lot. Like, I'm at 16 years. Wisconsin, you're at what? 18 years, 20 some years. Wait, if you conclude your vet tech?
Yeah, if I include everything, I'm at 20. I mean, I really started in the industry in 2002. So 23 years.
23. And then Texas Bishop, how many are you at?
Going on 17.
So it's like, if any of us stop, we're just all going to have heart attacks right away.
That's fair.
For sure.
We talked about this on an episode maybe a couple of years ago, and I think maybe it was you, Wisconsin Bishop, that brought it up. Like, actually, maybe it was Texas Bishop, about like the average length of employment. It was Wisconsin Bishop, and like it was either 2 years or like 25 years, wasn't it, Bishop? It was something weird like that.
Yeah, it was a very drastic difference. You're either stuck in it or you get out quick. So, and it's interesting, even just looking at my shelter, I've seen it where people are here and then they're not, and then there's other people who've been in it just as long as I have. So,
or you have anomalies like my assistant supervisor, 20 years, same department.
Wow.
oh, good grief.
What? She's amazing.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. But yeah, like you're saying, Dan, I'm always still thinking about animals, even now, selling HVAC equipment. There's a product that I sell, that I think could revolutionize animal shelters, right? Like, I think a lot of animal shelters, you walk in and it's kind of smelly, or they're always fighting cross-contamination or disease control, if you will. And I sell a product that actually purifies the air using kind of the same technology as the sun, and when it rains, there's some oxidation or something that happens there, and it purifies things. And this machine does the same thing. And I'm always thinking like this could be awesome for animal shelters. Kills diseases on surfaces, all kinds of stuff. So I'm always thinking still about animal stuff for sure.
If any of our listeners want to know more, just shoot us a message and we'll get you in touch with Hildy because
Sounds like a new sponsor coming up.
it does.
I did already have a conversation with the manufacturer's rep, and I'm like, hey guys, this is a missed opportunity for you guys for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when you take into consideration all of the animal hair and dander and stuff that gets collected in your filters.
1000%.
Where have you been in a situation, Hildy, or even you, Och, since you've been gone, where you're like, I think I need to call animal control?
I was just gonna ask that. How many times does Ocho come across stuff as code enforcement?
especially-
Because I know our old officer does all the time. He calls us for all kinds of stuff.
I do actually go in houses. I see a bunch like we did go into a house maybe about a month ago. It's just because we still deal with hoarding cases and had some code,
Mhm.
and we did find a couple of dogs, and they're like, Jesus Christ! So we had to call the local animal services. Hey man, get these dogs out of here and start citing these people.
Yeah.
And they're the city ones, and they're not as inclined as the knowledge we had when we had county municipal shelter. So I still had to go back. Okay, this is what you can cite. This is what you do. This. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I can't get away from this.
I was gonna say, how much did you have to do?
Pretty much, I had to hold their hand and just say, get them for this, do this. Report
That's cool though, right?
I go, yes. I've had to do full on my whole investigation again.
Yeah, that's cool though. Freaking as code enforcement, you're still a resource.
Mhm.
What about you?
And
Hildy?
I still get calls like my boss. He had somebody call him about animals, so he comes straight to me. I'm like, why don't you just go to the animal services guys?
Yeah.
You are the animal services guy.
For me, I surprisingly haven't run into anything. I know you guys have heard a lot of my crazy stories. I happen to be the first person that like happens on to a lot of situations, and so no, I haven't had anything crazy. And my trunk is full of promotional materials these days, but I do still have a leash in my trunk for that time that I need to make a
Hey,
rescue.
that sounds like a title. That sounds like a title to a rap song. I got a leash in my trunk. Like I might have to do one of
Oh
those.
God, here we go, Dan singing
I
again.
know. I mean, I could just imagine like the hook is like, I got a leash in my trunk.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, I've always got my eyes open. I'm always looking for a loose horse or a loose something, so I can be the hero of the day.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I just want to, man. So a couple months ago, I just got to share this story where I got spend a little time with Och. We went out, got some dinner, and I'm new to the bike scene. I feel like he came out the womb on a bike. Like he came out on one of them little mini like 50cc bikes. He just started riding when he was a baby.
I've been riding since the '90s.
So I'm up there on my bike, and we kind of planned to do something, and I had no idea this dude was going to drive me to like a piece of heaven. So Ventura, where you're at, like it's close to the beach. What would you say, like inland to the beach is like 20 minutes, something like that?
Even less than that.
It's less.
I live 5 minutes from the beach.
Okay.
But you can get. That's the good thing about Ventura County. You can get to the mountains and the beach within 45 minutes.
Well, we met up where I was at the hotel area, and we took this ride through like it's kind of like this agricultural, like kind of mostly flat, but then you had some mountains over to the left side, to the I guess it would be like the south side, and then out of nowhere we just hit Pacific Coast Highway, and it's not like the Pacific Coast Highway that like maybe you know of, well I know of in Huntington Beach where it's just like flat. It's like Pacific Coast Highway with like this big old cliff on one side and then this other cliff on the other side where you will just fall into the ocean if you don't know how to ride a motorcycle. And man, That was one of the most like when people ask me like what's one of your most favorite rides to this point, that was absolutely it, man. We cruised down, uh, and it's like back and forth. Like to you, it was probably like a normal ride. To me, I'm just like, this dude just took me on a ride through heaven, man. That was incredible. I just got to share that with our listeners. That was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, PCH through Malibu, county line is pretty cool. But there's still a lot of good twisties up on the hills that I like riding. So
Well, next
um,
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
and there I like using those, but I got to wear special boots because the bottom of my heels from rubbing the edges are all worn out.
Leaning. Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm Now Dan, now you know why dogs like to stick their heads out of the window. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it's unreal. Yeah, that was a cool time, man. Yeah. So Hildy, when you get riding again, we'll have to meet up. I want to start this the Humane Guardians Motorcycle Club. I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
allowed
Heck yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to
That
do
would
that.
be amazing, actually.
Yeah. Am I allowed to do
Yeah.
that? Can I just start a club? Or you have a club, right, Ouch?
Yeah, but there's a lot of politics involved.
Yes.
Um, so we had to talk to the main players. Even though we're not like their
And
type of club, we're gonna
yes.
consider it a riding club.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a whole lot of politics involved. So yeah, we had to meet with the big guys, as they call them, right? So we had to meet with them and just let them know, hey, this is what we're about.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hoops, and but people say they're actually kind of cool about it. They're like, yeah, it's no big deal. Um,
Maybe we could talk offline because I'm not joking, man. I think it'd be cool to have a club. Like,
well, back then,
yeah,
and I think 99 to 2002, when I worked in the ambulance, it's
yeah.
in 98. I think 98 to 2006, we did have one. It was like a bunch of us that had bikes, and we did have something called the Rescue Riders.
Oh, cool.
That's
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah,
And
I'd be
it was a double R with the that I forgot what it's called, the Star of Life in the middle.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
Well,
That
and
would be super cool, Dan.
And I would think that like those clubs would be supportive of that because people that fuck with animals are pieces of shit anyway. So they would be like, yeah,
Yeah, no, they are
yeah,
with stuff like that. Like
yeah,
there's a lot of religious motorcycle clubs out there, and some everybody just like respects them. They don't get messed with and stuff like that. So yeah.
yeah, yeah.
well, and there's
Mhm.
the children's
Oh, BACA,
yeah.
Bikers Against Child Abuse. Yeah,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
guys are cool.
So
Yeah.
then you could just make it, do something along the lines of animal abuse, and bikers can show up to the court cases to show support.
That would be
That
awesome.
would be sick, dude.
What a great idea.
That would be. Well, if you're
Hey,
listening and you're on
Voice
bikes,
for the voiceless.
if you're on bikes and want to get down, just send a message because I think it'd be fun to do and it'd be a cool way to support our animals and
Yeah.
speak out against that abuse, man. That's really what we're trying to do.
I don't
For
have
sure.
a bike yet. I want one, so I'll be part of it. Still.
I guess I just gotta get a Harley at some point, but I don't.
Yes,
Oucho,
get rid of that.
you make fun of me, man.
Get rid of that toy.
No, I want a Goldwing, man. Those look so comfortable, man.
There's a Cadillac on bike. It just
I
doesn't
will
sound as
accept
cool.
the Goldwing
It doesn't
too.
sound as
I
cool.
grew up
Yeah.
on
It
one.
doesn't sound as cool.
I know, but they're comfy, man. I'd be sitting on them, trying to decide on that, or it's either that or a road glide, man. Like I want
Road
something
glide's
that's
the way to go.
I just
Oh,
want
I
something
want a road
comfortable.
glide too.
I just want something
Road
comfy.
glide or a
You know?
street glide. Yeah.
The street
Heck
glide's
yeah.
more like the road glide's more for long distance, right? I'm getting off.
They're both the same.
Oh.
Those are road glide and street glide. It's all in the headlight stuff.
Oh, okay, like
The
that.
flaring and
The fairing, yeah.
different
Mhm.
flaring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But any of those are comfortable. I take my Heritage. I take it down the Rosarito and stuff like that. No big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, going off on
Question
a
for you
tangent.
guys. Yeah. That's what happens when I'm around. No worries. My ADHD, leave me alone. I was gonna ask you guys if have you guys heard any talk? Something I've been thinking about lately. I always have new business ideas or whatever going through my head. Has there been any more movement towards some sort of a national microchip database?
I'd love
Nothing.
that.
No.
No, that
Yeah.
I don't think that'll ever. I shouldn't say ever.
I don't think it'll ever. I mean, with the way people try to profit off of everything.
Like, that's
Everything.
It won't.
It won't. I don't think it will ever happen. You know, you still have your major players. I know one of the big players now in shelter management systems, Shelter Love, has now launched their own microchip as well. So they're try. I think they're the big up and coming. But yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
What I would love to see, though, if we can't get that done, and I've talked about it before, is at least if we can find a way, a company to come in and like, I don't know how you would do it. You'd have to like sign that, like when you go to a veterinarian's office or if you go to a shelter, you'd have to sign some like opt-in clause. But like all the vet records attach, like Carfax, they just attach to the microchip. So like if we get a dog or a cat or something in that has a chip and we pull it, it'll show all the vet history, and that would help in some, not just from the cruelty aspect, but it'll just help in general. Like what vaccines does this animal
Yeah,
need? What's it
public
been
health and
protected?
safety.
Absolutely, I would love to see that
Well,
at minimum.
yeah, and it like I'm now that I'm out of the industry and seeing other things, like it's possible, right? Like if we think about when we buy anything and it comes with the warranty, like anybody who sells that thing can look up whether it's still under warranty or not. So why can't we do the same with ownership information for animals, you know?
Hmm. Absolutely, absolutely.
Is there a topic that either of you guys,
Mm.
saw a lot of, when y'all were doing the show that's changed a hell of a lot now?
Mm.
I think we talked a lot about, different practices, best practices, those sort of things. And I noticed, and I don't want to start a thing here if anybody's against
Wait,
it,
we
but
start stuff all the time. What are you talking about?
Have
No,
you
Dan
been
starts.
listening to the show, Hildy?
Hey, Ashley, you're
Uh,
right. Please, yeah, the bishops don't start anything. It's all me.
Yes, that's
But I
also
was
true.
gonna say I was starting to see a lot more of the fear-free stuff,
Mm.
and I know that includes a lot of those best practices or maybe try approaching things these ways versus that way, because we do still have those people out there, right? That want to move too fast, that want to be overachievers, that want to be super efficient, and sometimes they end up getting bit or scratched, and the animal's the one that suffers. So I think that is something that I've seen a lot of, and I think it is helpful, right? And I think just again too, just like paying attention to those sort of things, even with when it comes to wildlife. I think people I hope now more aware of like, hey, like I'm not gonna go and touch this thing even though it's injured and it looks cool. Because if it bites me, like they may end up euthanizing it, versus rehabilitating this thing and re-releasing it. So I think that's one of the things that I've noticed, and just some of the like next door posts that I've seen or Facebook posts that I've seen. It seems like people are a little more educated when it comes to like how to approach certain things. Or I'm now seeing like, oh, call animal control, or versus like we used to see a lot of like, oh, take it home, or oh, don't give it back to the owner, or we used to see a lot of those things, and I'm now seeing a lot of like call animal control.
Yeah, I see the same things. Like before, everybody's like, don't call animal control. They kill animals. They kill
Mm.
animals. And now people become more educated, and thanks to the new shelter system,
Sure.
um, it made it more educational as far as like, no, we're not here just to kill animals. We're here to take care of them and bring them back. And I'm from the old school. From
Mm.
when it's people just like, yeah, you guys kill them. Like we do, but we don't also.
The number of times that I get that at the shelter all the time, people wanting to surrender animals, and I get
Are you gonna kill it?
Hmm.
Yep, are you no kill? And I look at them square in the face and I'm like, okay, I'm going to jump on a soapbox here and I'm going to educate you. And then I go into, a spiel about it. And then they're like, oh,
I used to love doing
okay.
that. I used to love it. Are you no kill? I'm like, I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. First of all, nobody's no kill.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You get a certain percentage, and the people that say are no kill, they just give them to somewhere else that is put euthanize them. In a sense, they're still doing it. They're just for their stats. They consider themselves.
And the reality is the organizations that are saying no kill still actually believe in euthanizing for behavior and health. It's just a poor misconception because of the lack of explanation and education to the public.
Absolutely.
So,
well, and then we do have people out there, right, that are sometimes having outbreaks, and maybe not so much anymore, but back in the day, having outbreaks, and rather than, going through and putting in the effort to treat the outbreak, they're like, oh, we're just going to euthanize everything and start over.
Now, I will say, like, I was a part of a shelter 20 years ago that did that at the discretion of a veterinarian. We had 2 separate outbreaks in the course of a year of ringworm and calicivirus.
Ooh, that's nasty.
Separately. And that's what the vets suggested, but definitely things have changed since then.
Right.
What would you guys like to see us talk about? Like, is there a topic that you have? I mean, I'm sure you're not listening like some of our listeners, but like, is there a topic you think we should cover that maybe we haven't covered yet? Or a guest that you think that would be a good feature on the program?
I think you guys got to stay with compassion fatigue for sure. I'm As I'm getting older, thinking more about just taking care of ourselves, and I'm hearing more and more about the suicide rates in the veterinary industry. And I've worked for a police department now, and I see that there's even not a lot of support, for them when they're out doing some of these challenging things daily. They do have, of course, chaplains and counseling and stuff now for our first responders. I'm sure the animal control industry is still, a little behind on that. But I think, taking care of the people that are out there making minimal checks, putting their heart on the line, for these animals, and, fighting the good fight every day. Just having conversations around taking care of yourself and taking care of those of you that are out there doing it every day.
One thing that I know a lot of places forget about along with that is it is not just the officers and the people on the road. You need to also take care of all of your clerical staff, because they're still sitting and reading those reports. They are still listening to
Getting yelled at.
Dispatchers. They still have to deal with all of that, so they get a secondhand trauma from it. And so that is something that needs to be addressed in our country.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we see things, right, as animal control that people don't even think about, right? Like, I don't know how many of you have been out with, the sheriff's department because somebody passed away, and you're having to go and get the animal out before they can get the body out. Or, we've all done things like that. And in the moment,
I've helped move the body.
Yeah, right. We've helped move the bodies, even though we probably shouldn't. And I think in the moment, some of us are weird, and we're like, oh, this is cool. Or like, we don't think about it. But like, we're getting some sort of trauma out of that, whether we know it or not. And so that's just something that I've been thinking about a lot. It's just, taking care of ourselves. We all have enough daily stressors just with, stuff at home. Sure. Paying bills, kids, whatever. And then we have the thousands of things that we have to deal with at work as well. So just taking care of yourself and not burning yourself out, knowing when to take a break, those sort of things, I think are always important conversations to have.
Absolutely. What about
I
you?
like to see working with animal services, working with different departments, as in fire, police, and different agencies. Like, one thing about Ventura County, it took them a while, but to figure out that we are an important asset to have out there during fires, because they don't know much about animals, especially what I did most of all. Me and my team were large animal evacuations, we became pretty much experts. We had different agencies contact us and ask them, how do you guys go about doing this? How do you guys set up your team? How do you guys start your dispatching? And once Ventura County Fire Department realized, every meeting they contact us when they had 15 minutes of what we were able to do, and how much units we had. So they gave us the respect to say, yeah, they are an important portion of during wildfires and stuff like that.
Totally. Absolutely. Super important. Well, I think we hit the segment, my favorite segment. So this didn't exist when we started this program. It's a new concept. It's taken the world by storm. It is something that if you're not using, you're losing. That is the advancement in technology called artificial intelligence. And so we like to ask our friends at artificialintelligence.com. Actually, I don't know if that's a website, but we ask our friends at AI about our guests. We try to do this on almost every episode. There's times where we don't, but this one, we are going to do a special on old school Officer Hildy. We put in Chat GPT and Wisconsin Bishop. You have his info. Texas
Yep.
Bishop, I gave you Ocho's info in the chat, so you have that. Wisconsin Bishop, why don't you just start off about what AI knows about Officer Hildy?
All right. Sounds good. Michael Hildebrand is a career animal services professional who has worked directly in animal welfare and animal control at the municipal level in California. Specifically, he has served as an animal services officer with the City of Elk Grove Animal Services in Elk Grove, California. He has been with that department since around 2018, working on the front lines of municipal animal care and enforcement. According to the department's social media and local sources, Hildebrand moved to California from Kansas and has spent most of his professional life working with animals. His duties in the animal services include daily interaction with the community animal welfare issues, from handling stray animals to enforcing local animal ordinances. Skills. On a professional networking site like LinkedIn, a Michael Hildebrand is described as having a background in animal welfare, customer service management, and enforcement. Skills that align with responsibilities of animal service work. The combination of enforcement and welfare experience is typical for animal service officers who are responsible for both for animal care and for ensuring compliance with city animal laws and public safety standards. Role in legal or public records. In some public legal filings involved in the City of Elk Grove, Michael Hildebrand is named individually and is in his official capacity as Animal Services Officer, indicating involvement in cases where animal services, policies, or actions were legally relevant.
It seems like it thinks you're still. It thinks like you're still in the industry, so maybe that's an invitation to come back. I don't know, man.
Well, I think that it thinks that I'm still there because before I left, we had a pretty large seizure. We seized about 70 animals, and there's still an ongoing court case, even though I left there
wow.
in, I think I left in 2021. There's still an ongoing court case around that seizure. Of course, we did everything legitly and followed the laws, but it doesn't stop someone from fighting the good fight. So yes, I am still individually named along with the city in this lawsuit that's going on.
That's impressive that it's that long. And
but it
also
was pretty legit information though from AI.
And it knows like your move from Kansas. That's crazy, man.
Crazy.
Texas.
Sorry, my children have been crazy back there.
She's over there disciplining her kids.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Hildy, in the middle of your story. I'm so sorry. My chihuahuas have been crazy in the background.
We can't hear her.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna go with Ocho, known as Tony Ochoa, animal welfare professional. Tony Ochoa is a veteran animal control professional who has long been associated with Ventura County Animal Services, the municipal agency responsible for animal control, sheltering, public safety, and animal welfare programs in Ventura County, California. Animal Services career. Veteran field officer, Ochoa served for many years as an animal control officer with Ventura County, where he worked directly with animal shelter staff and the community. He handled a wide range of field duties, from responding to calls involving strayed, injured, or dangerous animals to safely rescuing and transporting animals during fires. Field rescues and exotic animals. In addition to every animal control work, Ochoa's role included handling offbeat or exotic animals encountered by the department, such as large snakes and other non-typical shelter intakes, a job that requires training, composure, and animal handling expertise. Disaster and mutual aid response. He participated in mutual aid deployments during regional emergencies, including spending extended time assisting with animal evacuations and rescue operations during California wildfires, where animal control officers travel to affected counties to help evacuate and care for pets and livestock. Mentor and experience officer. Internal agency posts have positioned Ochoa as a veteran presence and mentor to newer officers and animal services staff, reflecting his long-term commitment to animal welfare practice and public service.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Wow, look at me over there. Jesus Christ.
AI knows no lies, man. It's just straight facts, but
Yeah,
that's
that's
the cool
awesome. I
That's
love
how
that. Too.
Skynet started.
thing. That's fun, man. I appreciate you guys, and really hats off to both of you for getting this thing started. Hildy, big shout out for you just having the vision, and honestly, it's truly an honor to be able to still continue to do this from something that you started. So I thank you, because I don't think I had the skills or ability to set something like this up, and so without you, there would be no Keep It Humane. And we really appreciate your vision, and yeah, man, I hope to do this for another 300 episodes, to be honest. Somebody asked me the other day, it's like, so when do you think you'll be done? I'm like, done? What are you talking about? Like, even if I left animal welfare tomorrow, I would still continue to do this podcast, and I'd probably do it with less with less of what's the word?
Filter.
Thank you.
Not that you have one now.
Well, but
He's getting better.
He's getting there.
Could you imagine
We're-
even
we're-
less?
No.
Yeah, insane. No, it's crazy, right? I think about it every time because I subscribe to the show, of course, on my Apple podcast. So every time there's a new episode, I get an alert. And it's crazy, right? To think about, being a part of something bigger than yourself, right? At the time that I started this back in 2018 is probably when we all were getting this started and sketching things up and figuring it out. I had no idea, in 2026, this thing would still be going, still helping people. We're not far off from 10 years running, and so it's amazing that you guys have kept it going. I applaud you guys for doing that, because I know how much work it is, coming up with content, booking guests, on top of having a normal regular life. So I applaud you guys for keeping it going. And like I said, it's amazing to have been a part of something and still be a part of something that is helping so many people across the country.
Well, you just gave me this crazy idea for the 10th year episode, whatever that'll be. I feel like we need to have a Keep It Humane conference, where we have speakers come in and some of our previous guests, and then do that, but then additionally do like a mega show in person. So stay tuned.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
I'm down for that.
Have some competitions, some roping competitions.
It would be.
You guys don't want none of that.
ACO Olympics.
You guys don't want none of
That's
that.
the one thing that me and Och had from the get-go, was the lariat rope, man. We bonded over knowing how to use that thing, and And then everybody
I
else was
still want to
Team
learn.
Snappy Snare. Team Snappy Snare. No disrespect to the Snappy Snare, but we were ropers, you know?
I
Back in our
legit
day.
have thought
We're
about
just-
bringing my snappy
We're
snare
just
to
a lot
South.
cooler than you guys. That's all.
Well, you're way cooler because you ride a Harley. I have a Yamaha, but it's fine. It's fine. Oh,
Yeah,
so-
I was a little late because I couldn't find my cowbell. I don't know
Oh,
where I
you
left
still
my
have the freaking cowbell. Oh man, I forgot all about the cowbell. Well, honestly, it's been a pleasure and an honor to have you guys. This is amazing. Please check out the website, Keep It Humane. Please follow us on all the platforms, whether it's Facebook. I need to do better at all those things, but please check us out there. And don't forget to help people
Help animals.
and keep it humane.
Humane, man.
Thanks, guys.